Good morning, friends, and a very happy Easter to you all. Thank you for joining me for this short reflection for Easter Day. This is the second part of my Easter reflections. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch the one for Good Friday first. It'll help to make sense of this. At the end of Good Friday, Jesus' broken body was placed in the darkness of the tomb, rejected by his closest friends, hopes dashed, promises broken, driven away by fear. It was the end. For the disciples, Good Friday was about death and destruction, about violence, pain, and the brokenness of this world. A world which we ourselves cannot ignore. A Good Friday world. At the time of this global pandemic, we are like Jesus entombed, not by being confined to our own homes, but for the first time in a generation, we are threatened with the real fear of our own mortality. Until now, death has been pushed to one side, yet every day we are being reminded that death is very much part of life, and it's a very terrifying place for us all. But God does not ignore the fear and darkness of Good Friday. He doesn't push it to one side to deal with it later. Life is too significant for God to ignore. Love too important for him to neglect. On that first Easter morning, by the power of his love, God transforms the darkness of the tomb into the rising dawn of a bright new day, turning death into life. Jesus bursting from the tomb heralds the first day of a new creation, bringing life and hope, making all things new, turning darkness into light. Of course, that doesn't make our struggles any less. It doesn't mean we are transported away from living in this Good Friday world. But it encourages us to think again, to examine the amazing hope of what God has done by transforming the darkness of the night into the bright dawn of a new day, where death and destruction no longer has the final word. Of course, we can continue with our eyes covered, focusing on the darkness of the Good Friday world. We can continue assuming the world is no different, blaming God for our own assumptions of him. Or we can open our eyes and dare to believe and look at the world afresh, expecting God to do things differently, expecting a new day to dawn, expecting to be released from our tomb. Jesus calls each of us by name to rejoice in the joy of his resurrection, and in doing so, we are called to become Easter people, living in a Good Friday world. Alleluia! Christ is risen. He's risen indeed. Alleluia. A very happy Easter to you all. May the God of new life bless you. May the Jesus of the resurrection assure you. And may the Spirit of peace comfort you. Amen.